wealth, um, the master of transformation. The level to which you are exposed determines the watch it mentality and global impact. So, and I believe that the future is created on retrospect. So, today, we're going to be talking about the hidden secrets and the the mystery of the poor are in their routine. So, if you want to know the reason why people want to know the reason why people are wealthy, check their routine. So, now we're going to be comparing the two routines together and seeing that is a there's no idea in place like here. It's what you give to life that you get out of life. It's what you give to life that you get out of life. So once again, my name is James Oloke Susi. I'm pleased to meet you today once again on this day too. I will implore you to like, subscribe to this channel so you can get our video from time to time. Every time we post it, we are posting a lot of things into what creation, because we believe that in this generation, one of the greatest mistakes, wealth does not come upon you or by wishful thinking. It's not going to come on you like a cherry. It's going to be a cultivated, is going to be a cultivated intellectual routine. So it's going to be a deep thinking and deep strategy you need to really engage. You know, for you to really engage wealth. So today we're going to be talking in that area. So the first thing you must understand is that wealth is not accidental. You must get that disciplined by the right environment, by the right exposure, and as a matter of fact, by right really get into a intellectual conversation. That's where they begin to get more knowledge. It's all about knowledge to them. It's all about more knowledge to them. In fact, if you tell the world them, there's everything being wealthy and being rich. Rich, anybody can be rich. Even the fools can be rich because they can be opportune to work in a great establishment. They can be opportune to steal some money. They can be opportune. I'm a robber can get some money today and they're rich. They buy cars all over everywhere. And you think that they're smart, they're foolish people, and yet they're rich. So it's not just about being rich, it's about being wealthy. So that's what we're taking to back. But we're going to be drawing some inferences from certain, occurrence in the biographies of some wealthy folks who you and I know, and begin to really work out and look at the patterns and the trajectory, so that we can begin to deduce or infer certain conclusions that can a principle for us upon which becomes our premise that we to foresee and see how to create wealth. So that's what we're going to be and that's what we're going to be doing in a moment. So let's look at some folks. Talking about biographies. If we look at the man called Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a mighty, one of the greatest investors in the world. In fact, somebody talked about him. He said his income in Coca-Cola alone is about $800 million per year. That is about 3 times the CEO's annual income. 3 times CEO's annual income. That's Warren Buffett. So this man, what's different about him? Because he's a serial investor through Berkshire, who is a CEO of Berkshire. The man is 96 now, and is one of the greatest investors in the world. This man grew up with his father, who was a stockbroker, and the conversation at home is all about investment, stock brokering, and from age 6, this man has started selling something. He has started selling something. So that early exposure really helped him a lot. Really helped him a lot into invest by age 16. Few computers in the world. So this guy had this, few computers in the world. So this guy had this minds. Minds. Childhood, he has always been thinking and looking at because he has always been thinking and looking at because he had to this computer. So he had to this computer. So and he had access to his network of influence, strategic. So and he had access to his network of influence, strategic thinking, and last of that, look at the man called Aliko Dangote. Aliko Dangote came from, he had his grandfather, super wealthy, uncle, super wealthy, and he had it wealthy, and he had it these people who had mentored him from childhood. So he not because they gave him more than he had this early exposure to see the way things were going were in his days. So he came from a so it is cultivated through intentional, intelligent, routine, intentional environment, and as well good deep thinking. deep thinking. So let's begin to bring this conversation to let's have an intelligent discourse in this area, because I want to highlight the routines of these world people. I want to match their biographies. Let's look, what's the pattern? What's that similarities in their pattern? There is an exposure. They are exposed. Warren Buffett was exposed to investment at his early age. The man called Bill Gates was exposed to computer at his age. The man called Aliko Dangote was exposed to, in those days it was farming. In fact, his lineage, his grandparents and like that has been exporting cocoa and like that abroad in those days, almost a century ago. They've been exporting even before Nigeria as a whole got independence to be exporting. They have been exporting, abroad to Portugal and likes of that. They have been doing all of that. So these are early exposure. Little Femi Otedola had this exposure with his parents. I'm not saying that it takes only wealthy families to produce wealthy children. You might not be able to do anything about your exposure system. You can do something about to cultivate your environment, to cultivate your own exposure system. Because it's all about what are you exposed to. It's all about what you're exposed to. They were exposed to those things. And if you begin to ask questions, have a time, a lunch with these billionaires today, they'll tell you, so back in the days, it has always been in this line. Just like the case of the Black Americans who are rappers. They are in that neighborhood where they started rapping from the childhood, talking poetry into rap and into music and art. So before you know it, before 21 or 2, they become rappers. What about Brazilians? Most of the Brazilians from 87, coming for clubs and lifestyle. This early exposure. So we can galvanize to certain knowledge, to certain realities. You need to cultivate. Wealth. You begin to cultivate wealth. That's what influence wealth outcome. So let me just really highlight some of these things that is the routine of the worldly people, so that we can compare it to the life of the poor people. Because the worldly people, the first thing I will talk about is that the worldly people engage in intelligent conversation. I want to talk about investment. They want to talk about things that are improving humanity. But the poor are only interested in gossip. They are only interested in events. They are only interested in talking about. They are interested in intelligent. Arsenal and Manchester United. They keep arguing all of that. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch football, but people do is that they read books. They read books, they read reports, they read biography. Is created, on retrospect. The future is created in retrospect. So, and if you want to build on the future, read the biographies of those who have done it in certain ways, so that you can be able to do it the same way. And that's what we're bringing this kind of information, how the world done, the Arab religion has done to us in Africa, because it makes people's situation to be like fate. Everything comes to them as fate. If you are destined to be rich, you're going to be rich. If you're not destined to be poor, you're going to be poor. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like FATE. He's not afraid to be poor. He's not your fate. But let me bring the scripture to that. He said, the thought of God is a thought of good, not of evil, to bring to an end our expected end. You paint your future and you walk towards it. See, there's a blank canvas before you. With your actions and inactions, you are painting your future. With your mouth, with your action, with your thoughts, with your intelligence, you are painting your future. But the wealthy people, they say if they want to add anything, put it in for the most stay knowledgeable. They must stay knowledgeable. So for them to be relevant. So that's what it is. That's what it is. So the third thing is that the wealthy people, they seek after mentorship. They can pay anything to be mentored, because they know that, I told you, I've said it again, the future is created in retrospect. The future is created in retrospect. So they want to see somebody who have done this thing. Aliko Dangote was guided, was mentored by his family, by his grandfather and his uncle. And these are the people who have shown him. See, somebody, let me tell you, every principle or every venture becomes so easy for us to conquer it. So if you are going to meet somebody who has conquered that phase of life, and for you, you want to do the same thing, it's going to be easy. So that's why mentorship. But the poor will never allude to the idea of mentorship, especially when it comes to paying mentorship. When pay for mentorship, we have some programs some years ago. There's so amount we're going to pay for you to have our course, entrepreneur course. And somebody say, "Whoa, pay really? Pay? I would rather use that money to eat. You rather you to eat the eat you eat it and you go to poop and the food is gone." So the wealthy, they can pay a fortune to be mentored. They can go to extra mile to seek that they are mentored. And also number four is that, and a routine of the wealthy is strategic thinking. They have strategic thinking time. You see the man Bill Gates. Well, there was a time he was at the basement thinking, meditating on the software he was working on, and the mom was shouting on him, "Bill, Bill, Bill, where are you, Bill? Come and get your food." He said, "Mama, stop disturbing me. I'm thinking." Toyota will say, "Good thinking, good product." See, if you take time, the worldly people create time to think. But the poor people, when we talk about in the Western world, when they get vacation, when they go for holidays and vacation, they're not just going in to refresh their mind, to recalibrate their mind, so that they can begin to see better exposure to, re-energize and recalibrate to get better into what they get everything. We think it's just about, there's a strategic thinking time. Great things can only be work. I have bills to pay. Let me work. That's the mindset of the middle class. So that's why you must understand the place of creating wealth, strategic thinking. In the routine of the world is strategic thinking. Strategic thinking time. They take time. Take 30 minutes at least every day to think, to meditate on what you're doing, to meditate sometime and engaging in engaging. Next one quickly, they see opportunities. One time a man came from abroad, the man couldn't fathom what the man was saying because he couldn't understand what he was saying. Where are the opportunities in this country, where everybody's trying to run away? So let me tell you, wealthy people, because they have heightened their IQ, they have prepared their mind, they can see, two people can see a thing, one will see better opportunity, another one will see a distant waste. Because one has prepared his mind to see, the other one has blocked his mind from seeing because he has not prepared his mind to see. That's a problem of the poor. Even when the poor sees opportunity that can lift him, he sees it as a burden. Okay, imagine a negotiation on the right strategic relationship, on doing things, instead of the driver to watch the man, to learn closely from the man on how he can be complaining about accident. You want to learn about what this guy is doing. What about the things you want to learn? Even to become a manager of, you can boost your resume as a manager of an artist. Oh, I've been around the video. We've been working together for a long while. You can leave that. You haven't learned that for a while. You can be a manager to another artist. They have such opportunity. Is that what they see is more money, more money. It's all about more money to them. Ask me to a billionaire is building a resume to learn a lot of things, not just to think about increase my salary, or thinking of how to steal things. So the next one is, so I've talked about they are bold. In their routine, there's this bold mindset. They have this ability to take up risk. That's because they see opportunities to take risk. They take risk, cared to take bold steps. Well, they see opportunity to take calculated risk in become foolish. You have to be some fool. So at a certain point, be foolish and make some mistakes. Thomas Edison will say, I tried this light bulb almost about 9,900 something times. Can you imagine? The man that had one of the most, patented things. How many times have you been duped to say, oh, I have failed one time, I have failed two times, and I can't rise again? Who says so? Even about costed with certain dear, they don't challenge status quo. Poor people don't challenge status quo. The wealthy are strong. People don't challenge status quo. The wealthy are strong. They challenge status quo. They challenge status quo. We're going to move forward. It doesn't matter where we have lost, lose money into the tune of billions. You want to become a certain whatever level you want to be, billions. You want to become a certain whatever level you want to be, you have to look of the. They go after strategic relationship. They don't just bring people to their circle anyhow. They put people who there's a mutual contribution. They are mutual fun. Let's be we are friends. What benefits other than talking about Arsenal can they bring to you? They are strategic in their relationship. And that's why when they go for conferences, they go for meetings, they go to places where they can learn, where they can meet people. Strategic relationship that can put money in their business. It's going to change. It can affect their lives. You talk about the Aliko Dangote while he was preparing for the refinery that was worth $20 billion. The man who went to Dubai, went even Nigeria, went abroad, looking for strategic partnership, strategic relationship, and he had people that funded it. Sometimes when you see that man, he says he's the richest man in Africa. See, the man believes so much in strategic relationship. Many government before now, he has been sponsoring, their election, sponsoring, putting money in the election so that they can favor him. Strategic relationship. You look at the person and say, whoa, this person has made it far above me. But I'm in the next 2-3 years, I'm going to be at par with this person. Who is that in your circle? Don't just parade around yourself circles of mediocres. Doing that. You can't create wealth like that. You can create wealth by strategic relationship. Because when you have ideas, who can fund? Who can you meet? The man called Steve Jobs, when he had the idea of the invention, in those who were growing up in school, he needed $200. In the circle of friends you are, that each you can partner and building things. So that is what wealth creation. These are the secrets of wealth creation. That's is in their routine. What made the mystery of the poor is in their routine. What makes them poor is in their routine. What makes the wealthy is in their routine. What they do on a daily basis, that's what makes them wealthy. So I want to encourage you to begin to listen to all of those things, list them down. Strategic thinking, intellectual conversations, reading reports, reading biographies, in mentorship, identifying opportunity, bold steps, strategic relationship. Take all of these things and begin to see them down and picture the whole of your life. Begin to imbibe this principle one by one. You see, in the next 30 days, in the next 1 year, there's going to be a change in your life. This is what we have for you today. I believe we are able to bring value to your doorstep, and I believe we have changed your life. Something is changing in you from this. Later today we're doing subscribe yet. Invite somebody tomorrow. It's going to be day 3. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great time. There's a good dull moment in this 30-day challenge of what exposure. I will not believe that we are bringing value to you, and we are taking it gradually. We are going to talk about venture to be institution. For you to be an institution, you must understand these basics, and that's what we have for you today. Once again, my name is James Olokesusi. I want to believe that by 9 p.m. tomorrow, today we started a bit late, so by 9 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to meet you on time. Stay blessed. We love you. Bye.